Welcome to another episode, Middle Ground with JLE LLC, where we treat you like family. That's the theme song, Detroit Love, off my first album, JLE Experience, on music and copyright. We got another amazing guest for you in this season 13. We have TikTok sensation, 13-time nominated on various platforms for Author of the Year, award-winning 7-time author, Hezekiah Morris. Say that right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
There we
sir.
go. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you reaching out and want to share your journey.
Yes,
First
sir.
question. What led you to this path?
Oh, man, you know, just sitting around. I was at home
Mm-hmm.
and I got incarcerated, and I was
Okay.
just sitting around and sitting in my jail cell, like, man, what I'm gonna do with my life? I can't keep doing this continuing cycle, in jail and out of jail, in jail and out of jail. And I was at the age where it's like, all right, you at a midway point of your life. What
Okay.
are you gonna do with your life? And I just started writing a book, man. I started all the way from my childhood and
Wow.
some of the circumstances that I went through, growing up in a domestic violence home.
Okay.
That's going through being the darkest one in my family and dealing with a lot of
Mm-hmm.
insecurities and, self awareness about myself, some things I didn't like, and always having to be at and
I got
be
to call
somebody
some
that be somebody that I
self-awareness
work with.
about myself.
And
Mm-hmm.
when I was writing that book, I was like, you know what? Let me write this down. And then I got out, I moved to North Carolina, and
Okay.
everybody's like, man, you should publish it. You should publish it. So I got on the computer and I started searching for some publishers, and I found publisher out of Charlotte named JJ Planner. He was like, well, we'll read it, but if I don't like it, I'll let you know something. I was like, okay. Man, he called back in 30 minutes. He said, this is a go.
Okay.
And when he said that was a go, that book took me some places I've never been. I moved. I was at work one day or working a construction job back home.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had an itch, man. I had this little book, but I'm like, is this it? This one little book, is this it? I said, nah, can't be it. So I'm looking at the guys, they riding around on the bulldozer. I said, hey man,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to New York next week. They said, go. I said, man, I can't do this construction. This ain't me.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to New York. That next week, I went to Philadelphia and I was back and forth from New York. And my cousins never lived in Brooklyn. So I was back and forth to New York. I was on the Today Show with my book. I got up early in the morning, like
Nice.
6. I got up at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And if anybody know in New York, they do the shows live.
Yeah.
So I'm in New York. I'll go down there. I'm getting down there early, man. I got my book on the Today Show. I'm like this, I'm like, okay. Then I got a book signing with Columbia University.
Nice.
Then I did a book signing with Howard University and Georgetown University and Pitt and Penn State University.
Nice.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should write a novel.
Now, what's the
And
name of this first one you talking
the
about?
first one was Restoring Hezekiah, Changing the Generation.
Okay.
That's basically a story of my life. It's about autobiography of my life and, going through the substance abuse and,
Mm-hmm.
the alcoholism that runs in my family. And, me being an addict and just, trying to change and being a better person and
Mm-hmm.
try to do something positive and, share with the world, some of the things that I go through. So maybe they wouldn't have to go through. That was basically what I was, letting the world know on how I felt on a daily basis. Depression and not being good enough and out thinking you always a failure. So that's what that book touched on. And my second book, Restoring Hezekiah, Me and Only Me, is talks about relationships and how I got in relationships and how they always ended wrong or,
Mm-hmm.
we put our all in relationships as men and we get hurt by a woman and how we can take that and destroy the next couple of women that come in that path. Be like,
You ain't
they
lying.
like, oh, you just a dog. You are no good. But they don't know that one before them, the hurt one, and we
Mm-hmm.
just take it. We like, okay, this how it's gonna be now. I'm not letting you into my atmosphere no more. And I want to treat you how I want to treat you. And it's a pattern.
Mhm.
We feel like we got hurt by that once, so we just thought we get into patterns. And I talk about these patterns from a man's point of view. It's not that
Mhm.
we don't love you, it's just we are hurt, and hurt people hurt other people.
That's
And
true.
that's what I talk about in Restoring Hezekiah, Me and Only Me. And my third book is Remember Them Days When We Are Young. I got homesick. I ain't been on the corner or the block with my boys in a long time. Man, I miss them. Am I doing the right thing? But I said, you know what? I'm gonna write about it. Write about the good times we had. The good and the bad times.
Mhm.
Write about it. We had a run, but we had to grow up. It's a part of growing up. Stop
Mhm.
being a little kid. Now you get weight. Now you're at that point in your life. Now it's time for you. Everybody can't go with you. You can't take everybody with
You're
you.
not. I'm
So
learning this today.
when God has an anointing on you and is He appointing you to do,
Mhm.
I mean, my road hasn't been easy on this journey. I've been homeless. I've been mm, outside and but I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to be called a failure. I didn't want to go home and be a failure. I wanted to
Mhm.
show people at home, look, you can do this. And I never gave up. I just keep pushing. And the funny thing about it, you wake up someone's like, man, when can I do this full time? Well, I ain't gotta go to work no more. But it's not all
Mhm.
about it's a and people say, why you write books? Why you ain't got this money and that money? Baby, just like the record business. I tell them every day, I could sell one book in a whole year. you know, but through over the times I've learned a lot. I now create my own videos that you see I be putting up on TikTok. I do
Oh
all
yeah,
that,
you do your thing on there, brother.
all my digital content. I do it all now. I'm now my own publisher. I finally got my little business I ain't gonna say it big, but my little business license from a little publishing company because I publish
Yeah.
my own books now. You know what I mean. So
Uh-huh.
and it's a stepping stone. Each day you take a different step and you learn about it. And if the money never comes, I enjoy doing what I'm doing.
Mhm.
And I remember it was about 3 years ago, and my friends all back home, they was like, "Man, we love your books, but when you gonna talk about who you was back home, Freaky Zeke?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm not stepping in that ring." So yeah, I said, you know what? I'm gonna give y'all what I wrote the book. It's called The Player in Me. And when I tell you, my mentor from DC, she interviewed me, said, we're gonna make that book a movie. I always wanted my first book to be the movie, my autobiography. She like, nah, this one's gonna be the movie. I'm like, oh Lord.
Nice.
And we did the movie. It's on YouTube. It's called The Player. And man, it was wonderful.
Okay.
Just like who would think I wrote a book now and did a movie. And it's amazing, man. Like some of the places I've been, like the book signings and just seeing different people. They're like, "You an author? Do you know how amazing that is? You know how many people want to write a book? That's the that's the let it." But I think also it's a blessing to be able to write down how you feel.
Mhm.
Take time out of 24 hours in a day. It's not like 24 hours in a day when we was growing up. You
Nah.
know what I mean? Everything is going on. Everything is moving. Everything is fast, fast, fast. Like back in the
Mhm.
day, I bet you I could have wrote at least 100 books, because ain't nothing going on. But in these days, something is going on all the time. So for us as authors to actually sit down and take our time out to write this book, that's amazing in itself.
Man, I got a box full of songs I've written since the eighth grade of '92 to now. And the first one I wrote was front and back. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Babyface. It ain't supposed to be 2 pages. Shut up. I
Yeah.
wrote it. It's a great song. You
Hmm.
don't know nothing. I was on cloud nine.
Yeah. And,
I
and, and,
feel you.
and it's amazing, man. And people are like, man. And then I did the Player in Me book.
Mhm.
Then I did the Player in Me too. after that one.
Okay.
And then I did The Invisible Woman. That's my first paranormal romance.
Okay.
I indulged in that. And then
Look at
my
all the
last one that
genres.
came out at the beginning of this year, The Pastor's Son, because my father, he's a pastor.
Ah, that was a pastor too.
So The Pastor's Son is real good because it's actually like I like to base my stories based like around me and my ideas and my thought
Okay.
process. You know, we all do. We got to put ourselves in the book somehow. And so I was just sitting back one day. What if my dad got sick and want me to come run the church? And I wrote about it. You know, me going home. How man, and it's a real good book because I give you the backstory on the minister, and I also give you how he has turned himself from a man into a pastor, and how you still have all these stuff in the world, and how the world is still coming out, how sin keeps coming at you, even though you're doing the best you can, you're doing right. That devil is still right there, and I just give the world a story that they can relate to. You know, trying to be, you know, being saved and trying to go the right path and doing the right thing. And even after you're saved, the people that looking at you still don't believe that you're there. You know what I mean? Well, we never there, but they still don't believe. Nah, no, ain't he can't change. Ain't no way he can change. You know what I mean?
Man.
So
See, I always call it affectionately that God phone be ringing. I'm like, okay, it's cool, dude. We doing? Like, man, you got that phone ringing. 20 years ago, me and my homeboy had a conversation. God was on him like, why ain't you doing pastor like your dad? Like, oh crap, that phone ringing. Hey, go left and right, Jesus right over there. I did my job.
mhm,
I want to deal with all
yeah,
them crazy people. I'm good. Not crazy people with issues. I
yes,
won't do that. That's too much. I said, But if you do it, Jeff, you'll do music, author. I don't want to do that. I just want to do music. But you'll do so many different. I don't want to do all that. I just want to do some
right,
music. I'm good. I tell him, God, I done my job. Like, nah, you
yeah.
go ask like,
Hey,
nah, I ain't going to be ever home
you know
ever.
what's so funny about that? See, me and you, we in the same situation, right? Because
And I'm doing it, bro. Like,
and my
he
cousin sent
got
me.
me. I didn't realize this is doing that. I'm like, what the world? He got me. And I
Man,
realized it last year like a fool. Like, this is ministry, Jeff. Finding your purpose. Like, y'all having a good laugh in my expense, huh?
uh-huh.
Like, he don't even realize he doing it.
And you know what's so funny? My cousins now used to be like, you need to be going up and sitting them in church and following your daddy's path, and then you need to be the. I'm like, look, I want to just do what I do. I want to live my own life. Let him have his, and let me have.
Exactly. The man, that's like the weight of the world. Like, you really are Captain America, somebody, because God gonna slap you if you ain't doing what he told you to do. So they heard the right word. So if devil and God is right there, they know to pick
Mm-hmm.
God. Because you said what you were supposed to say that day,
Mm-hmm.
didn't hear what they needed. Compared to,
Right.
man, I ain't feeling this. I don't really want to do it. Man, just go read Romans. We're gonna call it a day. You know, slap you like that ain't what I told you. Tell them that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But and you know what? I think I struggle with that more than anything.
right. Mm-hmm.
Like, you know I have my own identity, but at the same time, I still, like you said, have that weight of the world on my shoulder. Like any mistake I make, like man, like my dad's a pastor. You know what I mean? And for the longest time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you see, I knew my dad before he was the pastor.
I heard stories
So
about my pops. Like,
yeah,
oh, he got down before he was
yeah.
the yacht
So
club
so
president, passing all okay.
so what people got to understand, I got to learn behaviors. if
I'm giving you the remix this time.
you know what I mean? I got to learn behaviors way before he turned pastor now. So they can look at him, he changed. I'm like, all right, now I still got the behaviors that been instilled in
Hey,
me. For
hey,
what, 17? So up to my adulthood, see, he didn't become a pastor until like I was 17. So
mhm.
you got all them. So you got all them. And I'm
Mhm.
like, man. So for me, it's a struggle every day. Like, okay, we brought up in the church from the time we come out mama's womb, and that's instilled in us. Oh, you're going to hell, you're going to heaven. We see us growing up, we never knew uh loving God or kind. He was hell have no fear. You know what I mean? But if
Mhm.
you look at the if you look at the world today, I think they kind of need the God that we had when we were growing up.
Oh yeah.
You,
And
just a
consequences
little.
to
They
their
don't
actions.
need it too tight because you know how they is today. But they needed just a little bit of that rough God that we had coming up. You
Oh,
know
like
what I
my
mean?
dad didn't have his church no more. We had to get up, get dressed,
Mm-hmm.
go to the living room, and do it. Now, I was the youngest, and I've always had a mouth. Why we gotta do all this? We just go into the living room. Shut up, Jeff. Go watch up. We just go into the living room. He gonna sing that just like the man again. I'm tired of that song. Boy, we gonna beat you. Like, I'm gonna shut up. And sure enough, it's not a lot of mine. I'm gonna let it shine like, ain't they
Uh
got
huh.
more songs?
I don't care how long I partied all night long. That Sunday morning come up and I heard that, I'm like, Lord, oh, you going to church? Yeah, you going to church, and. But I think I thank God that doing all that it taught me to be strong,
Yeah.
able to go through anything, and know that I can get through it, and
Mhm.
still that I can fall down and get back up, because we do have a loving God.
Yeah.
And the funny thing, people don't understand that God, He watches over you, even when you're in the midst of. He's always
All the
there.
time.
Cause man, I've been in some situations where I don't know how I made it up out of there,
Man,
and
man.
I'm telling you, anybody. And the funny thing, I hear about people they commit suicide. I hear about people
Mhm.
they just be somewhere they get shot, and I'll be like, ah, ain't I'm blessed, cause I've been all around there in the
Oh,
devil's. you,
high school, mom be playing that Mighty Clouds Joy. I shouldn't go to the club tonight. Man, we about to have fun. We be right back. Get to the club. Pop, pop, pop.
yeah,
Don't you say one word. I'm not telling her until 3 days later. I don't want to hear. God
yeah.
just put on my spirit to go play the Mighty Clouds and read that big Bible. Cause you was going out like I ain't giving her
Mhm,
satisfaction. I refuse.
mhm.
I'll tell her. We're gonna tell her Tuesday. We ain't gonna tell her. She was right.
And you know
My
what that
word, let's
blessing.
go home, man.
You know what? And sometimes it ain't even our prayers; it's our Father's prayers, our
Absolutely.
grandma's prayers that brought
Absolutely.
us up out. Cause I'll be like, man, whoever praying for me, whoo, thank
Absolutely.
you.
Now,
I remember what was it was a week ago. I had
mhm.
to go to court. I had to go to court for some um jaywalking or something like that.
Okay.
So I get to court. I'm thinking, oh Lord, here I go. I don't like going to court. 'Cause whenever I go to court, it ain't never a good thing. Right? I'm like, man, Lord, I'm scared. I get to shaking before I even get in the bed. I say,
Oh no.
I ain't. I'm telling you, me and court don't get along. So I get in there. The prosecutor called me over. He was like, "Well, you're going to plead guilty. You're gonna walk out the door right now." What? Yeah, give me that. It don't matter. So the judge in there, some guy come in there. Here he go. Man, I ain't sitting down nowhere. You ain't gonna tell me to sit down. I'm gonna stand up if I want to. I said, "Oh, don't do this to me today." So the prosecutor said, "I tell you what, I'm gonna go tell the judge what you said." I said, "Oh Lord, we all going to jail today." He
Oh no.
said, "Man, I was almost out of here. Here you come, want to destroy it." I said, "We all going to jail today. We all going." The judge came back and said, "So who's that guy that was?" I said, "Oh Lord." He said, he hit the thing on the ground. He said, "Y'all gonna listen to me in my courtroom." I said, "Oh
Mhm.
man," but it was about 12 o'clock. I've been there since 8 o'clock that morning. He got to me. He said, "All right, you can go." I said, "What?" Man, I got out of there so fast I couldn't get out. I said, man, thank you, Jesus.
Uh-huh.
I said, man, I can go fly around the world now.
Now we got
Oh,
Dr. Vatanga. She says hello. And her son is named Hezekiah. He's an author,
okay.
children books, and with
Wow.
autism. He's
Awesome.
amazing. And she agreed
Awesome.
what we are talking about, absolutely.
Do
Man,
you know it took me 30 years to use my name Hezekiah?
really? What was you using?
I couldn't stand that name. I thought I was like, who would give me this name growing up? You know, I used to say Hezekiah, Hezekiah. Nobody had that
Mhm.
name back when I was growing up. My daddy, because I'm a junior.
Okay.
And I was in this treatment center,
Hmm.
and this Chinese guy, he was talking to me one day. He was a counselor. He said, "Do you know what your name means?" I said, "No, not really." He said, "Well, I want you to find out what your name means, and then we're gonna talk tomorrow." So I did a little bit. I thought about it.
Hmm.
So I got back the next day. He had brought me a paper of what Hezekiah means. I was like,
Okay.
"That's a lot to live up to." I said, "That's," but but what it showed me too, Hezekiah made mistakes too.
Yeah.
He wasn't perfect, you know. And if you look in the Bible, nobody in the Bible was perfect. So we all want to go through different trials and different
Hmm.
tribulations. And you know, we still go through them today, but we just go through them in different ways. And by writing these books, that takes me to a place where I can release and be free and just share my stories with the world on what I go through on a daily basis, you know, trying to do the right thing, being the right person, you know.
Hmm.
And it's just amazing, man. This ride has been amazing. Like I won what prolific author of the year, what a month or 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. That's in Houston, Texas. I'm like, man, I'm ready to travel now. I'm gonna go, hey, let's go travel, you know. But I just love to write. I started reading when I was about 5 years old. You know, my mom, you know how mothers used to sit around read them old Danielle Steele romance books, you know, Fabio on Fabio,
Yeah.
man, my mama had them books everywhere.
Oh man, I
So
remember the
I'm
movies
like,
they started making.
you know me, I'm curious. I was always into stuff. So I'm like, let me see what she read. So I'm like, like my mother actually said, "Oh, you really taught me how to read." Like I'm 4 years old. I'm reading. I'm on a reading level. Reading. I
Mhm.
sit and she in the bed with one book, and I'm in the bed with the other one. We both read the romance book. I don't know what's going on in the book, but I'm just reading it to be reading it, you know. And it's amazing because that actually was how I started to read. And then when I finally got into fourth and fifth grade, I started reading, you know, the Malcolm X's, the Roots, the
Yeah.
Alex Haley's. My favorite was Richard Wright, Blackboard. Man, that's a awesome
Oh yeah.
book. I love that book, man. Man, that was awesome.
You
That
ever
was one
read
of the best books.
Fahrenheit? Was it 411 or four
Yeah,
five
that
one?
one.
They burnt
Uh-huh.
all the books.
Yes.
Yeah, that's like they want you to read. Like wow,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
society.
And then I started reading John Grisham books, James Patterson, David Baldacci's,
Yeah,
um,
James Madison.
Jerome Dickey books. And the way I write my books is I don't make them long, but I try to take from each author how they present their stories in
Okay.
the book. And some people be like, "Well, I don't know the backstory on the characters." Well, you got to read the book before that. Then you know the story. Because most of my characters I bring from each book.
Okay.
So that backstory is part of the book before. They're like, well, I don't know the backstory. Well, the backstory should have you read the first book, you would know the backstory of the second book. And it's amazing how I do it and do the scenes. They're like, how do you just switch it? Because I like to study other authors. If I'm not learning myself how to really
Yeah.
present a book and to put a book together and it's tell a unique story, then I'm just staying complacent, not
Yeah.
willing to learn.
I gotta
You know,
research all the stuff I'm
yeah.
doing. I'll be watching other people's shows, reading books. There's other people's music. So I work on
Mhm.
mine. Whatever I'm doing, trying to figure, okay, how can I be better? Now, how has TikTok helped on this path?
Oh man, shoot. I would tell you, I just man, when TikTok came out, I was like, man, you know what? I thought it was almost like Snapchat, but then it's like, oh man, I ain't got to be on Facebook all the time. I can be me on TikTok. I got too many. You know how Facebook is. That's
Yeah, too
family.
many people,
You know,
on that one.
yeah, you know how it is. You
Yeah.
got the pastors on there. They hey, well, you know. So you want to go to a place where you could just let off and let off some steam sometime, like what
Hmm.
you going through, and just be yourself sometime, and that allows you to be yourself. You can be crazy, funny, cool, mean,
Hmm.
however, but it just gives you a platform to be yourself. And I started off. I had like 2,000.
Okay.
So last week I put a video up with Rihanna and Ethan Hawke, and they was at a basketball game. And the little boy was like, "Dad, this is Rihanna." So when it comes back to the next picture, Ethan Hawke is sitting beside Rihanna. He like, "Boy, get over here." You know? And so they got pictures. He laid back in the seat like this, talking to Rihanna. And that's every man's dream. Like, man, he talking to Rihanna right here. And and his son is like, he's mad because Dad, look at Dad. But man, that thing got over 100,000 some likes.
Wow.
I
That's
was
awesome.
like. Ooh. So I looked at I was at 95,000 likes on Monday. My goal, I said, man, if I get 95, my goal is to get 100,000 by the end of the week. By Friday, I had over 100,000 likes. And I was
Nice.
like, okay. And it's amazing because if you don't set goals for yourself, just say like, if you could do it this far, why can't you stretch it this way? And I like to dabble. I like to like try something. Cause I remember when I first started creating videos, I sucked, man. I was like, man, I can't do this.
I just
Then I,
started using TikTok.
hmm so I kept going. So now when I do my video, I did this video for this lady. She had a book came out in February,
Okay.
and she wanted the '80s theme. Man, I just threw in Michael Jackson, Prince, and everything, and she was like, "That's it." But it was a struggle because I'm used to making my videos. But when you're doing it for somebody else, you got to be like, all right, should I tone it down? But
Uh-huh.
believe me or not, most of the people that you do stuff for, you be like, all right, I want to tone it down a little. No, they want wild, they want crazy. That's what they want. They want to think outside the box sometimes because we're
Hmm.
always inside the box. When you
That's
throw them
true.
something outside the box, they're like, that's it right there. That's what I want. And this has been a wonderful journey. I know the pastor's son next March, we're gonna be working on a movie to that.
Nice.
So I'm really interested in that. Well, I was gonna work on the movie. It was supposed to be worked on it in June, but I had to do we had picked the director, me and my friend. We and her haven't talked since. But if I'm doing a project and
Hmm.
I know I don't have creative control of the project or my views can go into the project, I don't want to do it because it's like
Makes sense.
you're not using my vision to do the project. You're using your vision, and
Yeah.
your vision and my vision is totally different. And I'm
True.
like, okay, I wrote the book, so my vision has to be in the movie.
You the foundation of it.
Yeah, yeah, yes. Now we can all come to agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, I want to at least have creative control on why I want to do it because I really wanted to do the movie in my hometown
Nice.
because the movie is set in my hometown in Virginia,
Okay.
and I wanted to shed light on the talent in my hometown. For me, that was going to be giving back. And somehow, in between doing the movie, getting ready to do the movie, they was like, well, we need A1 stars. We need to put this movie like a Tyler Perry movie. I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, oh, I mean, so
Oh man.
you, you know
Okay.
what I mean? Like, man, we just went from, I'm like, okay, so I had to think about this thing. I'm like, now, so I wanted everybody from my hometown to act in this movie.
Okay.
And I don't want nobody to act in the movie from my hometown. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Well, if somebody come that's better than her, she's not it. I'm like, oh no, we're not going to do all that. You know,
Yeah, you can't
because
get everybody on. It's opportunity.
yeah,
You're like,
that's
no,
it.
no, no. We're gonna go with more serious people. Like, give me a
Yeah,
chance.
right. I'm like, no, that ain't what I want. How do you know they can't do the Ty P. Henson ain't come in the game like that? They gave her a shot. You know? And for me, it's all like I didn't come in the game. I just got an opportunity. And that's what it's all about. You never know where that lucky person is, or you know that God gifted person is, so you don't give them a shot. And that's what I was all about. But no, they didn't see it. They was like, man, we want this to be a Tyler Perry. We want this on Tyler Perry level. I'm like, I
Well,
understand what you're saying, but if you're a good director,
you make it work.
it'll what, right?
Yeah, you
You,
make it do what it
you,
do.
you, you can bring out the best in anybody. You know,
Mhm.
Tyler Perry ain't never have A-list stars, but he brought out the best in everybody that he put on.
That's true.
You know, and so that's what I was thinking. And so it fell through. So I called my mentor. She said, "Don't worry about it." But she's her name is Andre Harris. She is the bomb.com.
I need
And
to
she
have her on
wrote,
the show. Tell her
yeah,
journey.
yeah. And she was like, "Don't worry about it. We'll get it done." So we're gonna start working with that in March.
Okay.
So I'm
You need a
happy
song,
about
let me
that.
know, man.
I am. I am. And you know what the crazy thing about it? It was like, okay, they wrote the script to it, but they
Mhm.
was like, when I was like, I don't want the movie to go, I said, we're just gonna scrap it. I'm gonna go elsewhere. They was like, all right, we're just gonna change the names and the character.
What?
Yeah, that,
What?
I mean, you know, you gotta think about that thing. You like, are you serious? So you just gonna write the script from my book, but you're gonna change the names and the characters. I'm sitting there like, no, not. Yeah.
Hey, I forgot her name, but a black lady wrote The Matrix and Terminator, and they finally had to cash out a few billion.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Hmm.
it shocked her. I've been reading that article, the Michigan Chronicle, like around 97, 98. Like, oh, black women wrote these stories?
What was that
And
movie
they
that
both
Tyler
tied
Perry came?
together, too.
What was that movie that Tyler Perry came out before The Divorce in Black? Cause what's that lady's name? Zane.
Yeah.
I guess that movie is kind of really based on her book that she wrote. So
Mm.
she's like, Tyler Perry, holla at me. Yeah. Cause to say like some of the scenes and some of the things that's going
Yeah, I
on.
remember saying hit the scene late 90s.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's reading, especially women, like, oh, I like this stuff. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
So it's really, man, it's woof. You gotta be really careful with how you go about this. You know, you try to make everybody happy, but you can't,
Nah.
you know.
Nah. You gotta try to stay true to what the creativity of what you did
Hmm.
be put on screen if that's the route that is happening for you. So it's not like some people say they're Lord of the Rings. You need to read the book or a House
Right.
of Dragon. No, you need to read the book. Like you say like that because it's so much they left out. Like, well, they
Oh
can't
my
make
goodness.
a 5 hour movie, so I'm trying to. I can
Right.
rationalize what they trying because they can't put all that in there.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Like
know?
the family business on BET, the family business.
That's a dope show.
It can't touch the book.
That's right. It is Carl Weber's book.
It
Okay.
can't touch the book. Man, I read that. I read the whole series in a week. And these
Oh, wow.
books this thick. That's how good it is. You like, man, I gotta keep going. I gotta find it can't even touch this TV series.
Shout out
Carl
to
Weathers,
Carl Weber.
that's the bomb, man. I'm telling you.
And
Like
it
all
gotta
the
be dope to get
characters are
your stuff
different.
turned into a show or a movie. That's
Hmm.
gotta be an amazing thing.
Yes.
Now, what made you do a podcast?
Oh man. Everybody was like, man, I just got tired of being charged to being on one. I said, all right, they're gonna keep charging me. You want to pay $50 to come on my show, come on my show? For author. I'm like, man, I'm just getting in the game. So I decided to do my own show called the Author's Lounge. Man, when I tell you I had some amazing interviews. I actually got nominated for radio internet show of the year.
Yeah.
I had a couple, yeah, I had some star power on there though. I had the guy from The Wire, Nikhil Dillon come by. He
Okay.
did a yeah, he did a couple things. And I had authors from all over the world coming. I was interviewing people from Britain, Australia. That's
That's
who I
amazing.
connected with. Yeah, it was fun. I just got life showed up. You know, and I was like, man, job or the podcast, job or the podcast. You know, so
Yeah. I know that double grind.
God's willing, these military benefits come through. I'm gonna be doing the podcast again. I have plenty of time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you service.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did that too.
Gotta add that to the list. Okay. Yeah, because being an author is definitely a unique experience. It's like certain
Mhm.
people I interview, I get a spidey sense. Like, you think about writing a book? How did you know? Since I wrote a book, I get a spidey sense. Like, I'm talking to an author.
Mhm. Yes.
I've been thinking about like, you should write it.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been told that, like, man, some people are petrified to write whatever. And God giving you ability, whatever story comes, you just start. Okay, I'm done. Like some people can't do
You
that.
know, the crazy thing. I get people come in my inbox all day, every day. I want
Mhm.
to write a book. I want to write a book. What can you tell me to do? Write it.
Yeah,
And they'll be like, "What do you mean, just write it? Let's write it down. That's what they got editors for, to put it
yeah,
together."
yeah.
It ain't like it was back in the day. You can get an amazing story out of nothing. You just write it down, and it takes me all my books. It took me at least 2 weeks to write, and I'm done.
Okay.
I'm once I start, I'm not going to stop until and I
See,
have to
that's
have
what I be doing.
I have to have everything in order. It's like it's just something we have in our brain to tell us it has to be this way. If you stop and come back to it, it's not going to be the same.
Yeah, you ain't like you don't get engulfed in that world. 'Cause I
Hmm.
remember years ago, I had a dream, and I was like within it, watching it unfold. And when I woke up, at time my wife like, "What are you doing?" Like, I, I got to write this out.
Yes.
I had two big notepads. I got fast notes so I can finish writing it. And she like, "Okay, what are you doing?" Like, okay, I was asleep, and I had a dream, something like Thundercats that just played out while I watched everything. And I'm
Yes.
writing down everything I saw. Like, you remember all that? Like, yeah. Like, only God ate my brain. He gave it to me. I never had that experience. And I'm like, this is gonna be my little Marvel universe hook up here when I'm done with it. They're
Hmm.
gonna give me some toys or merch. Yeah, we're gonna get that. Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
I got to finish writing though. Get off my butt.
Hmm.
Finish writing it.
And,
Like you
and
say,
you
you
know,
get distracted.
that's one of the things I think that we have in common. We have a memory that it's like a photographic memory. Y'all. We remember the points, like the
Mhm.
point A's, the point B, the major points that we need to remember, and we can make that story go from there. And it has to be a gift. I truly
Yeah,
anybody could be a writer, but to be an author, you got to have a gift because
I would agree.
authors are not going to write 10 and 20 books a year.
Nah.
We're going to give you a good story, but we have to be into it. We're not going to just write in because that's not who we are. God
Yeah,
has to give us the story, and then we have to put it on paper. It's totally different to being a writer. Like I can sit on the computer and write all day about any story. We want to write about something that can impact other people's lives and help them and give them a testimony.
yeah,
And all my stories are a testimony of what I go through, who I've been through, and how God had brought me out through the other side.
yeah.
He,
I know certain songs I have to go look up. Like, man, this got some back in the wars, Carolina. So who this artist? Real fan. Like, dang. They just bring out the post you put them like. That's oh, that got some nasty soul on it. That's a gospel song. Who the hell was that? Let me go find that person. Add that to
Mhm,
my list. So you're right.
yep.
But
So,
being an author it's an amazing opportunity. And it's kind of
yep,
humbling once you write something and then it's done. You're like, wow,
yeah.
I put all that down. Hmm.
The one part I don't like is the editing part when you got to keep
Oh.
reading. I done read that book so many times. I don't even want to see it no more after I keep. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I had someone edit my recent book that released. Then I had to go back to make sure it still fit with what I wrote before. Like,
Hmm. I remember what
and I
book
couldn't
was
stop.
my book, The Play in Me. The ending of the book,
Hmm.
it had to be perfect. It had to, and it missed one word, and that word was it had to be there.
Mm.
I got the book. I called my oh man, I went crazy. I said that word has to be in there. That's the end. No, it's no way. Okay, we're gonna get a change. And I still read that book to today, and I see that word now, right, and it drives me nuts. Nobody will probably even notice it, but
Yeah,
that word has to be there. And I'm like, really?
yeah,
The
because what you like the devotionals I wrote for years, whatever God wanted me to write, that's what I put down. So
hmm
like, okay, if you edit it, I gotta make sure it still had the effect that he wanted for me to write it like that compared to well, grammatically it don't fit like yeah, but they gonna feel it.
Yeah, that's it.
So long as both can coincide, okay, cool. I leave it.
Hmm.
But it gotta be both. Can't be I just changed the whole thing. Like, no, you don't have the same meaning no more. When they read
Right,
it, they
right.
get that, wow, that's powerful. You know? But you've been doing this thing longer than me. Now, we reached the point where you can promote, market your stuff. Go right ahead.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And like for me, see, you're like me. I'm like, if I put that there, I want that to stay there. I put it, I made it like that for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to be politically correct.
No.
I don't want it to be politically a correct sentence or the way the sentence is supposed to be. I put it in there for a reason to
Mm-hmm.
catch that person's attention. And
Mm-hmm.
see,
Absolutely.
they don't get it because they don't see it,
Nah.
but we see it. This is the attention grabber, right here. It has to stay right. And if it don't, and then they bring it back, you're like, put that back.
Yep. You go back and I had to retweak a few things, but everything else pretty much the same tone. That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Now it's your time. Don't market what you got coming up, big bro. I know you got
Um,
a lot.
Phew. October the 19th, I'm gonna be at Pensacola, Florida. We're having books by the beach. Um, October the 18th, I'm gonna be at the we got it in Gwinnett County, Georgia, at the library. We got a Black Commerce Center
Okay.
meeting where that focuses on black businesses and stuff in Georgia.
Hmm.
And they're gonna have vendors there and food. Um, Grambling State, I'm gonna be doing a book signing at Grambling State in Louisiana. Um, think about the end of October. She's gonna call me back with the date.
Okay.
It's gonna be about the. I did them in February, so
Nice.
they wanted me to come back during the fall too. So I said I'd come back there. That's gonna be in Louisiana, Grambling, Louisiana. Um, what else I got coming? Mondays in Atlanta, Georgia. It's called JB's Rucker Lounge. To all authors out there, if you want to come out, show your support, read your book out loud, get on the mic, open mic, you get to read your book. You get to meet a lot of aspiring authors. You get to meet some people from Tyler Perry be there, Netflix be there. So
Nice.
it's man, it's a great thing. And they doing right now they're doing donations because a guy, big time guy, had a car accident and he almost died, but he lived. So we're doing donations for that for him. So whenever you come there, we just all the proceeds that donated to him to help him out, and it is awesome, man. You got food, music. Plus, you get to be live on mic with your book, so you can use that for marketing and promoting right
Man.
there. You know, so that's called the Book Slam. It's my friend, my good friend, man. ND Brennan. He hosts the show, man. He's an awesome author. He does the Book Slam. What else I got? I know in March we're gonna be working on the Pastor Son movie. Um,
Nice.
yeah, I just got nominated for Best Creator for the Pastor's Son. What
Congrats.
else? Nominated for Who's Who of America.
Yep.
Man, I'm telling you, some of these nominations be costing, man. I be like, you said it's gonna stay that way. Nomination. I ain't paying for no. I still gotta live. You know, I'm like, man. They
Yeah,
like, well,
I come across on Facebook like 100.
man, I got nominated for this Authors All Star Award. But man, when I seen the cost of even,
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, so I better be selling 1,000,000 books as soon as I pay this thing. I'm
I hear
like,
you.
shoot, 10,000 a week. I need to be making that a week then. You know, but you know, it's all fun though. It's just exciting that they even mention you in the same, nomination or even
That's
thinking
true.
about you. Um, I know. Oh, tomorrow I got a Facebook Live show.
Okay.
Um, live show. Oh man, what is? Oh yeah, it's gonna be turning my pain into purpose. It's K Michelle, the process. We're gonna be talking about my movie, The Player, and how it all came about. Because now a lot of authors are starting to turn out books into movies.
Nice.
And like I'm gonna tell you what's funny. Like we got copycats in the game. Cause like when I came in the game, like I used to be on the streets, man. We used to hustle, man. We used to like to go get it. So when I came in the book game, man, I ain't want no friends, man. I ain't want no clicks or nothing. I'm doing this my way. You feel me? I'm going
Mhm.
hard. So I went to the colleges and stuff. Man, I learned how to do my videos and stuff. I put music on my videos. People was like, hey, this is a little different here. He doing a little something different here. He got his own little style. Okay, let me gravitate over it. Let me see what he and then and you sit back and you watch and you see what you didn't put out there and how
Mhm.
everybody gravitates and does it now and how the industry is building. And it's you see and sometimes you be mad, but then you like, you know what? That's the part that I bring to the game right
Yeah. Yeah.
here.
Everybody take a little bit from everybody.
And I like that because us as a group as a whole, that's how if we can work together, we can succeed together.
Mhm.
Hey man, if I know how to do something and you need me to help you to teach you how to do it, I'm willing to do it. Because you might know something that I need or I need to
Exactly.
learn. And that's what it's all about. Man, I see them be bickering, oh, who the number one? Hey, come on, man. Let's help us all. We all can be number one bestsellers.
Hmm. Absolutely. Man, it's better to be at a table with everybody breaking bread instead of just you.
That's that's right. Could it get lonely right there, though?
Yep. And then you start thinking about how to get something that you got because they starving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
We
that's
don't
right.
want you starving. We want you good.
Uh-huh.
And then you
That's
bring
right.
somebody along.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it going.
Sir.
You got anything else coming up?
Um, no, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's it. You can find my books on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, 3,000 other bookstores. Um, Instagram, Arthur Hezzy, TikTok, Morris_Hezekiah, Facebook, Too Legit to Quit. And I'm on
Nice. Hammer up in here.
Yeah.
Nice.
They be like, hey, the young people be like, who's Too Legit? I said, man, hey, that's
That
before
was
your time.
that was all the stars in that video doing it too legit to quit.
Yeah.
I
So
remember
yeah.
that. Hammer was the man for a minute. Shout out to him. People forget. He was doing it big.
Yes, definitely, definitely, man. Yes. So, Man, I just enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Now, what has been your biggest challenge on your journey?
Dealing with, am I good enough? Am I a good writer? And dealing with life at the same time as being an author. You know, the part that gets me down when people come to me like, man, you writing these books. Why you ain't rich yet? I'm like, that's the
Yeah,
part that hurt me. And I'm like, I'm the
yeah,
author of the year. I done won all these awards, but
yeah.
I'm like where God wants me to be.
Yeah. God knows the money got to pile up at some point, but
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
might be some more things we got to learn in the journey. So when we get there, we ain't gonna be Daffy Duck. Mine, all mine.
Yeah, yeah,
We're
right,
gonna be
right.
more like, okay, I got 100 million. Cool. Let me see. I'm gonna help that. I'm take care of that. Take care of that.
Mhm.
Put the money over here. You want that? Not. It's all mine. Get away.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sorry.
right.
I don't care. Like I didn't get you on this journey for you to get like that with it.
That's right. Yep. I gave a homeless person my book 3 weeks ago. I told him to give it back after he read it. But the book is circulating.
Okay.
So when I go to work, a different person will come up to, man, you the one that wrote that book, ain't it? Man, we like that book, man. So I'm like, okay. And that's all God right there.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just wanted him to read the book.
Yeah.
But he
Yeah.
circulated it. You see what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the blessing right there. It ain't even about the money. That's the blessing. They enjoyed the book.
Might spark an idea in them for what their purpose is.
Hmm.
You
Now they
know.
want another one. That's about, hey, when you gonna get some more books? I'm gonna read another
Yeah. That's real dope. In your words, what has been your impact in the community?
one. Just being myself, just being real with myself, and letting the world know that we ain't always gonna have good days. We're gonna have some bad days, but just
Yeah.
don't give up. Every day we wake up, tell ourselves that we are somebody, and that we can whatever we put our mind to, we can do. I'm living proof of. Boy, I was terrible before I started writing, and then but when I started writing my first book, I still was. It took me a while to grow into my purpose
I got you.
and
Yeah.
what I wanted to do. All that, and I still make mistakes, but they're not as bad as they was when I first started this journey. Because now I have eyes on me. And
Mm-hmm.
that means a lot to me because it took me a long time to build myself up to get to this point. So I want to keep it that way. That's what pushes me, and praying. And God, boy,
Absolutely.
he's always there. We don't think he's always there.
Man, I was comfortable with the audio hookup. I just sent the link. I ain't got to look at nobody. But how can we connect with others like they ain't got nothing like that?
Hmm.
StreamYard. Well, we gotta say back to the audio. We gotta learn how to do the video now because they can connect with
Hmm.
each other.
Hmm.
And you get comfortable doing it after a while. Like, okay, this ain't that scary.
But you know what? I used to do mine on Blog Talk Radio,
Okay.
and it was no camera. Do you know how many people like not our racial color, but they love it. They don't have to be on camera. They can talk,
Mm-hmm.
sit there, drink that glass of wine, get off from work. You're on the telephone. They can do
Yep.
cook. The camera is like okay, but people love to talk on that phone without the camera sometimes.
I'd be amazed with my
Because,
numbers on Spotify.
yeah,
Still download
right.
the audio on there, so you still got the
Uh-huh.
audio.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Go to my
Because
YouTube channel. You got the
like I
video.
said
So you got
earlier,
both. Whatever
we
your
so
flavor.
busy. We so busy. We're
Mm-hmm.
so busy in the day. It's take 30 minutes out for yourself. And you're like, Shh. That's when you go to sleep.
Man, you preaching. You preaching. I was on break and we're like, oh, you gotta put the flyers out for the show. Let
Hmm.
them know. Let them know. Put it everywhere. Yeah, yeah, okay. Put it everywhere.
And when
Cool.
I wake up in the morning, that's my marketing promoting time. 5 and 6 in the morning, I'm going hard from 5 to 6, because I know I'm gonna be at work for the next 8 hours.
Hmm. I feel that. Now for the Yoda gang, what advice you have for someone trying to find their purpose?
Oh man, believe in yourself. Believe in whatever gifts that you have. Believe that you still can achieve your goals are always achievable. You just have to be persistent and willing to put into some work. It isn't going to come easy.
Mm-mm.
Your journey is going to be one of the hardest journeys you ever go through, but it's going to be well worth it. You're going to take the bumps in the roads, but just keep pushing, keep striving, and just tell yourself, I can do this.
You're right. Everything I've experienced, Father died when I was 12. Like all that shaped your personality to do this.
Mhm.
And when it hit me, like, oh, so I guess all that crap was necessary. Because
Mhm.
it makes your story unique. And I'm very humbled that all the amazing people like yourself that have been on the show. But then I had somebody say, Jeff, how long you know old boy? I just met him. What? Man, y'all chopping up like y'all been drinking some Crown or something. You're like,
Yeah.
That's a gift God gave me to be able to connect with the people.
Yes, sir.
And give y'all what you need to find your purpose.
Mhm.
I'll thank you for it. Now, how'd you like being part of the middle ground, sir?
Oh man, I loved it. So I felt I was comfortable, relaxed. I see you down there. You got author, musician, journalist, CEO, and her boy. Hey, I was like, man, I need to change mine.
And people get on like, you gotta let people know what you're doing out here. Like, okay. And they
Oh
gonna look,
man,
they gonna do that little, like you got a Jordan zone, they body there like, oh, he is somebody. It ain't just a little podcast. Like, nah, it ain't little.
oh
It's
man, I
amazing.
enjoyed this show right here though. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
You always welcome back. And if I can help you with something, let me know. I believe in teamwork.
Oh,
Just
oh
go
yeah,
to
we're gonna do that. We're gonna definitely stay in touch. Definitely.
because you put a lot of good stuff on TikTok. Like, that's creative. Okay. I'm just kind of basic with mine. Well, I'm figure it out.
Oh yeah, it's fun because you know what? It's you cannot do none of the digital stuff on your laptops and computers no more.
Mhm.
All of it is through an app and it's on your phone. And I'm like, man, I take like 3 different apps and I make a video and I take it out there and I take it out there and I
Uh-huh.
can put it all into one. And it's fun. It's just fun to do it. Oh, I just pop up with an idea. Oh, I'm gonna make a video.
Nice. Well, I appreciate TikTok sensation. 13-time nominated on various platforms for Author of the Year. Award-winning 7-time author and veteran Hezekiah Morris for sharing his journey. Check him out on all the social media because you put out good content.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
All right. Thank you for having me on the show, man. I appreciate that.
I was humbled that you reached out to be a guest. Like, that's why
Hey,
I want to rock with you. Moving up in the world, Jeff.
see, I'm one of them guys. I'm always watching. I'm like, man, oh, he got a pod. I want to be on his show. Because that's how you meet people. That's how you network.
Absolutely.
That's definitely how you network and meet people and get to know people.
Yeah, I'm noticing my likes are going up. Like, wow, 1,400. Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, you got 200 following, but hey, keep liking. I mean, you found something from it. So we're in
Yes,
the right
sir.
direction.
Okay. Yeah,
I hope you enjoy this amazing Labor Day weekend.
I will.
I got another show at 9, talk about some social stuff.
Okay.
Chime in on that. It'll be ready at 9.
All right.
Have a good one, brother. Thanks
You
again.
too. No problem. All right.
control.